I was still in my work uniform when my mother-in-law threw a glass of water at me and said, "This house deserves better than a janitor." My husband just walked away. That night, I wasn't allowed at the dinner table. "Let her eat alone. She's filth," his sister whispered. I sat in the garage crying over cold leftovers. But 2 months later, when they saw what I pulled into the driveway, they just stood there in shock. I've cleaned up after people my whole life. Started when I was 14. Mopping up fast food floors after school, changing garbage bags, scrubbing tables. Later it was hospital bathrooms, surgical wards, even crime scene cleanup for a while. I never cared what people thought. I paid my bills. I didn't take handouts. I earned every cent with sore feet and cracked hands. I met Anthony when I was 29. I was working nights at a medical office in Bakersfield. He came in one evening to pick up a company car for a client. He worked at a high-end dealership across town. He had this confident walk, shiny watch, smelled like cologne I couldn't name. He struck up a conversation while I was wiping down the waiting room chairs. I thought he was just being polite. Then he asked for my number. I laughed. I asked him, "You do know I clean this place, right?" He smiled and said, "You've got a better work ethic than most people I know in suits." I fell hard. Fast. He took me to nice restaurants, opened doors for me, treated me like I was worth something. It felt like I was finally seen. We dated for over a year before he introduced me to his family. I should have known something was off from the start. His mom, Darlene, answered the door in heels and pearls, in the middle of a weekday, like she was auditioning for a damn soap opera. She gave me one of those thin smiles and a hug that felt like I wasn't really there. His sister, Tiffany, didn't even look up from her phone. The whole visit was awkward. Every question was a backhanded insult. "Oh, janitorial services? That's so important. Very sanitary. I imagine it's flexible hours. That must be nice. I guess you don't need a degree for that." Anthony just laughed it off. Told me not to take it personally. Said they were just being protective. I wanted to believe him. We got married in a courthouse ceremony. I didn't push for anything big. We didn't have the money. His parents weren't thrilled but showed up with 4 smiles and brought champagne. They helped with a down payment on a house. He said it was a gift. I didn't want to move in at first. I felt like it wasn't ours. But he insisted. At first, things were okay. I kept my head down. I worked nights. I cleaned up messes nobody else wanted to touch. I did laundry, cooked dinner, made sure the place was spotless. I didn't complain. Even when they came over unannounced and critiqued everything from the way I folded towels to the brand of dish soap I used. Then that Friday happened. I came home from work at 6:45 p.m. Still in my dark blue uniform, badge on my chest, hair tied back. I smelled like bleach and sweat. My lower back was killing me from scrubbing baseboards in patient rooms. I just wanted to sit down, take a shower, eat something warm. As I walked in, I heard laughter. His mom, his sister, and Anthony were standing around the kitchen island drinking wine and eating shrimp cocktail off a platter. His mom saw me, and her whole expression changed. She walked straight up to me, holding a full glass of water. "You need to learn your place," she said. Then she threw it in my face. The cold shocked me more than anything. It ran down my neck, into my bra, soaked my badge and shoes. "This house deserves better than a janitor," she sneered, and turned her back. I looked at Anthony. He looked away, said nothing. Just walked out like he'd forgotten who I was. That night, I came out of the bedroom after showering. I thought maybe it was over, maybe we could talk. But the dining table was already set. 4 plates. No fifth. I stood there awkwardly. His mom looked me up and down. His sister leaned over and whispered, loud enough for me to hear, "Let her eat alone. She's filth." Nobody corrected her. Anthony picked up his fork like he didn't hear a thing. I took my plate into the garage. There was an old folding chair next to the dryer. I sat there with cold spaghetti, crying quietly so nobody would hear. I finished the plate like it was the only dignity I had left. The next day, I went to work like nothing happened. But something changed in me. I stopped talking. I stopped trying. I saved every dollar. I picked up extra shifts. I took a weekend job cleaning office buildings downtown. I opened a second savings account. Anthony never noticed. He stopped paying attention long before that night. What they didn't know was that I'd been working on something for over a year. I was cleaning the offices of a private real estate investor, and he liked how thorough I was. One night, he asked if I wanted to learn about flipping low-cost properties. Said I could sit in on his Monday night meetings. So I did. I took notes. I studied. I asked questions. I bought my first fixer-upper with the savings I'd built over years of working double shifts. I renovated it myself, painted walls, installed laminate, cleaned everything from ceiling to baseboard. Sold it. Turned a profit. I kept going. By the time I moved into Anthony's house, I had 2 more flips under my belt. When they were eating shrimp cocktail and calling me Filth, I had just closed on another. 2 months after that night in the garage, I pulled into our driveway behind the wheel of a brand new Cadillac Escalade, paid for in full. Anthony, his mom, and Tiffany were standing outside. Tiffany actually dropped her phone. They just stared. I stepped out, keys in hand, sunglasses on, in a tailored black dress. No words. No tears. Just the sound of my heels on their perfect little driveway. Anthony tried to play it cool when he saw the Escalade. Acted like it wasn't a big deal. "Where'd you get that?" he asked, eyes flicking between the SUV and me. I didn't smile. Paid for it. Cash. His mom laughed like it was some kind of joke. "Oh, please. Don't tell me cleaning toilets buys Cadillacs now." Tiffany snorted. Maybe she found a sugar daddy who likes the smell of Pine Sol. I didn't answer. I just walked past them straight into the house. Anthony followed me in. "Where the hell did you get that money?" he demanded, closing the door behind him. "I've been investing," I said calmly. "Flipping houses." "You didn't tell me anything about that. You stopped listening a long time ago." He didn't say anything after that. Just stood there like I'd slapped him. The silence in the house after that was louder than their insults had ever been. Nobody knew how to handle it. Suddenly, I wasn't the quiet janitor girl in stained sneakers. I had money, independence, power, and that terrified them more than anything. But things didn't settle, they got worse. Anthony started acting different. At first, he tried to be extra nice. Like flipping a switch. Made me coffee, asked about my day, offered to help with chores he hadn't touched in months. But it was fake. I could feel it, like he was trying to figure out how to dig into my business. He started snooping. I caught him going through my emails one night. He denied it, but the tab was still open when I walked in. Then he asked me to go in together on a down payment for a duplex he'd heard about through a friend. I mean, we're married, right? Shouldn't we be building things together? Together. Like the way he stood by me, while his family humiliated me. Like the way he protected me, when I cried alone in the garage. I told him no. That's when the mask slipped. "Oh, I see. So now that you have a little money, you think you're better than everyone?" "No," I said. "But I damn sure know I'm better than how you all treated me." He stormed out. Didn't come home that night. The next day, his mother called. Left a voicemail. "You need to remember where you came from. That house you live in? We helped pay for that. Don't act like you're untouchable now just because you got lucky." Lucky. That word burned. Tiffany made some snide post on Facebook about trashy girls who think money buys class. I didn't comment. I didn't respond. I just saved a screenshot. Then Anthony started getting real bold. Coming home late. Hiding his phone. Whispering on the porch at night. I knew something was up. One night, he left his phone charging in the kitchen. I didn't even have to guess the passcode. It was still my birthday. The texts were right there. Tiffany had added me to a family group chat months ago, but there was another one just between him, his mom, and Tiffany. And what I read made my stomach turn. She doesn't deserve that money. Get her to invest in that duplex, and then get a divorce. That way you come out with something. She's too dumb to know how prenups work. Bleach Rat thinks she's a boss now. Faced with tears of joy, my hands shook. My vision blurred. But I didn't scream. I didn't throw the phone. I just stood there. And in that moment, I made a decision.
Not to cry.
Not to beg, but to plan. After reading those messages, I didn't confront him. Not right away. That's what he would have expected. A big fight. Me crying. Him turning it around. That's his pattern. Instead, I started preparing. First, I got a lawyer. Quietly. One of the real estate guys I'd worked with referred me to a woman named Elena who specialized in asset protection and divorce law. She didn't blink when I told her the whole story. Just took notes, nodded, and said, "We'll make sure they don't get a penny." We pulled all the property records. The house. It was under Anthony's name, but I'd been paying rent into our joint account. Elena explained that even if they tried to say it was a gift from his parents, my financial contribution could be used to argue for a share or even reimbursement if we went to court. She also helped me move my business into an LLC under just my name with a separate account he couldn't touch. While Anthony kept pretending everything was fine, I was documenting every insult, every text, every time he forgot to come home until morning. I even started recording phone calls with his mom. Elena said California was a two-party state, but I could still log the harassment as emotional abuse. Then came the twist I didn't expect. One afternoon, I got a call from a number I didn't know. "Is this Michelle?"
Yes.
"Who's this?" "This is Angela. I don't know if this is going to come out of left field, but I think your husband's been seeing my sister." My stomach dropped. Angela explained that her sister, Crystal, had been dating a guy named Anthony for a few months. She found out he was married when she saw his name on a piece of junk mail in his glove compartment and Googled it. Found our wedding registry. I didn't even ask for proof. I just said, "Thank you for telling me." I didn't cry that night. I didn't even feel surprised. I just felt done. I wasn't just planning revenge anymore. I was building a case. I met with Elena again. We pulled Anthony's financial records. Turns out he'd drained part of our joint savings into a private brokerage account 6 months ago. Claimed it was for emergency expenses. He was already preparing to screw me over before his mom ever threw that glass of water in my face. And that's when the real twist came. One of the properties I'd flipped earlier in the year had appreciated fast, faster than expected. A new company was building a strip mall down the street, and buyers were offering double. Elena looked at the figures and said, "You could walk away with 6 figures in the next 30 days. I looked at her and said, "No, I'm not walking away." Now, it wasn't just about escaping. It was about ending it on my terms, with every detail sharp, legal, and unforgettable. I waited until everything was airtight. My business was sealed under the LLC, my funds separated, every paper trail documented. I even moved my mailing address to a P.O. box without telling Anthony. Then I gave him a day he wouldn't forget. It was a Thursday. I woke up early, dressed like I was going to a meeting. Black slacks, crisp blouse, hair done. I made him coffee. Smiled.
Kissed his cheek.
"Dinner tonight?" he asked.
"Sure," I said.
"Let's make it special." While he was at work, I had movers come. Quiet, efficient ones. They packed everything that belonged to me, documents, clothes, even the cookware I'd bought. It all fit into a single truck.
Clean break.
I left one thing on the kitchen counter. A manila folder with my lawyer's card on top and a printed copy of the text from the group chat, highlighted. Right next to the credit card statements showing the dinners and hotel charges he thought I'd never see. That night, he came home to an empty house. The folder sat in the middle of the kitchen island. Under it, a handwritten note. "You treated me like dirt. Your family called me filth. You thought I was too stupid to see what you were doing. But while you laughed at me, I built something without you. This isn't revenge. This is me closing the door and locking it behind me. Good luck explaining this to your mother. And your girlfriend." I didn't block him. I wanted to hear the voicemail. He left 5 of them. All the same song. "Please call me." I didn't mean it. They didn't mean it. I was just trying to protect what's mine. "We can fix this." He finally stopped after I sent a short reply. "I'm not yours. And there's nothing broken on my side." Then came the fallout. His mom tried to reach me. sent me a long email full of fake sweetness and poison. We didn't mean to hurt you. Family has rough patches. We were only trying to elevate you.
I didn't respond.
I forwarded it to my lawyer. Tiffany tried to DM me on Instagram. Guess money doesn't buy class after all, LOL. I screenshotted it, blocked her, and sent the screenshot to Angela. The icing on the cake? The Escalade wasn't even my biggest win. That property I mentioned? The one that appreciated fast? I sold it 3 weeks later. Made nearly $180,000 in profit. I used it to buy a townhouse in Clovis. Clean, quiet, just mine. And I bought it outright, no mortgage. 6 months after I left, I heard through a mutual friend that Anthony's brokerage account had been frozen during the divorce. His credit was shot. His mother cut him off because the family name had been embarrassed. Tiffany moved back in with her after losing her job. I never said a word to any of them. I just kept working. Quiet. Focused. Still wearing gloves. Still scrubbing what needs to be cleaned. But this time, I'm the one holding the keys. And no one calls me Filth again.